Shot by Lazarus with a Kryptonite Bullet, Superman must now be saved by the Omega Men. Kal writhes in pain, blood seeping from his wounds as the Omega Men try to hold him down. They are in the medical bay of a captured Lazarus oil rig that the Omega Men use as a base of operations. Multiple entry wounds. Pulse is there. BP's dropping. Anesthesia has no effect. He's feeling everything we're doing. The medic shouts as the doctor continues to reach in, trying to find the Kryptonite Bullet. "I've got it! Retrieving it now!" the doctor shouts. Kal screams in pain, the force of which shakes the room around them, destroying their equipment. But he suddenly sags as the Kryptonite Bullet is pulled free from his chest. One down, 2 to go, the doctor says as he holds the first bullet high in triumph. Primus staggers back to her feet, explaining that the other rounds are wedged between his ribs and near his lungs, and asks where the ultrasound is. The doctor motions to the destroyed equipment around them as he looks up at her. "Every piece of equipment in this room was just blown to smithereens. We can't see anything in there," he points out. Kal sits up and holds out his hand, gritting his teeth against the pain. His eyes begin to glow with blue energy. "I can. Give me the clamps. I'll do it myself," he gasps. Kal takes the medical equipment and uses his vision to see inside his own body. He lets out another scream of pain as he pulls out the second bullet. Once again, he collapses against the table. "Don't think I can do that again. Soul," Kal gasps, but Soul's voice is far away, apologizing as he continues to reboot. But Primus is leaning over him now. "It's all right, Superman. You're not alone," she says to him. She turns back to her soldiers and orders them to bring the box. Kal struggles to remain conscious. The kryptonite in his chest is trying to kill him, but Primus reaches out and slides away her helmet, revealing her face. "Hey, stay with me. We have something here that can help you. Though, it may feel strange. Just keep your eyes on me, alright? Omega will provide," she tells him as the doctor returns, now holding a strange alien box. "Triggering the machine! Stand back!" he tells those gathered around. Kal's eyes widen in surprise, and he tries to tell them to wait, but it is too late. The box begins to hover over him. Energy erupts outwards as it pings again and again, the sound echoing around the room. The energy wraps around him, and Kal begins to scream again. Meanwhile, Lois Lane sits in a Lazarus cell at the Lazarus Corp Processing Center. The door opens and a massive man walks in. "Agent Lois Lane, you will answer my questions as if your life depended on it," the man tells her. "Who am I? And why am I here?" he asks. Lois looks at him for a moment. She knows who he is. "You're Ra's al Ghul, reclusive founder and CEO of Lazarus Corp," she says, explaining that he is there to impress her with his appearance, and that despite her betrayal of Lazarus, she is not fired and will not be executed, that she is still a soldier of Lazarus and will do as she is told, and there's still work to be done. Raz smiles at her. "Brilliant! I could not have said it better myself. Now let us," he begins to say, but Lois cuts him off, explaining that Raz will also threaten to take away her father's Lazarus prosthetic legs with the flip of a switch. "I almost feel sorry for you. You have no idea how the world has changed, because you haven't met him yet. Once Superman's standing in front of you, you'll realize just how small you've become," Lois tells him. Raz's smile falls away, and he leans forward. "I fear I must correct you on one minor detail. Disappoint me again, child, and I will not take away your father's legs with a flip of the switch. I will put the pathetic cripple out of his misery. With mine own hands, Roz tells her. Lois lunges at him with a hidden knife and holds it to his throat. But Roz does not care. Do it! Open my throat, and I promise you, I will rise again on the morrow. Can you say the same? He says. Lois lowers the blade, and Roz finally nods and turns away. Lazarus means life, Agent Lane. You hold your father's in your hands. Remember your love for him as you fulfill your duty. And bring me my son. Roz tells her as he stalks out of the cell. Weeks later, at a Lazarus Corp peacemaking embassy in Pakistan, the peacemakers turn in shock as a boom tube opens. Omega men pour out, led by Primus. Death to the techno-fascists! Primus shouts as she kicks a peacemaker in the head and raises her sword. She prepares for the killing blow, but the Omega men are suddenly held in place by red dust as Superman steps through the portal. Primus! You saved my life and I'm grateful, but if you insist on using deadly force, you'll wish you'd left me to die, Cal tells her. Primus lowers her weapon and nods. Never, Superman, never, she says before turning to the others and ordering them to follow Superman's lead. Cal moves quickly, using his super speed to move through the embassy and search for the Pakistani protesters that the peacemakers were holding hostage. The Omega men watch as peacemakers are thrown free of the building as Superman moves through it. Cal stops on the roof and orders the peacemakers to get out of their tanks before burning them all with his heat vision. You must be more careful, Kal-El. If you exert yourself, you could reopen your wounds, Sol reminds him. Cal nods. Sol, I think we've been here long enough to say that there's no such thing as being careful on this planet. And at this point, all I am is wounds, Cal reminds his friend with a sigh. Suddenly, twin peace mechs reach through the fire and grab hold of Cal, threatening to rip him apart. But Sol charges up and activates a solar flare mode, unleashing a solar flare, burning away the mechs as Cal screams in pain. Earlier, at the Omega Men base, he sat with Jimmy Olsen. What do you know of that box? Cal asks him. Jimmy shrugs, explaining that there are various stories about how it came from space or was found buried deep beneath the earth and had been there for millions of years. All Primus says is that it comes from God, Jimmy tells him. Cal nods and explains that it spoke to him, not with a voice, but with fire, burned its words into his mind. It's called a father box. I saw a world erupting with flames. Fire pits the size of oceans, and slums that went on forever. Cal tells his friend as he stares out at the ocean. You saw what will happen if we don't stop Lazarus Corp. Primus says their boss is a certified maniac, Jimmy tells him. Jimmy explains that he joined the Omega Men because he wanted to help save the world. That he couldn't just sit idly by and watch as Lazarus Corp destroyed everything. Plus all the craziness that's supposedly happening in Area 41, the government's Project Olympus, and the world's richest psychopath. Some guy they call the Joker, Jimmy says. But their conversation is interrupted as Primus comes over, explaining that Jimmy will have one more chance to rise above the rank of Alpha, as he will be joining them on their assault on the embassy, as the peacemakers have captured a group of protesters. Back in the present, Cal rips apart the peace mechs and stands in the destruction as peacemakers surround him, aiming their guns at him. Sol is still speaking. Father Box is extremely dangerous, Kal-El, he tells him. Cal looks at the peacemakers around him. Sol, I've never heard you like this. You sound almost frightened, he tells his friend as he begins to charge up another solar flare. I am a vestige of the Kryptonium Luminarium, imbued with limited sentience by Lara L. I am not capable of such emotion. It is you who should be frightened, Kal-El, of the Father Box, and this corrupt world, and the sort of man it may be turning you into. Sol tells him as Kal unleashes his anger with the solar flare on all those who surround him. Sol, you saved my life, and you're all I have left of Krypton, but I'm tired of people telling me who I am. So do me a favor and shut the hell up! Kal finally snaps in anger. As you wish, Kal-El. Disabling voice mode, Sol finally says. The Omega Men catch up to Kal and begin to spread out and search for the prisoners. But Kal uses his supervision to find them quickly. He punches through a nearby wall, revealing that the peacemakers strung the protesters up and hung them from the ceiling. More peacemakers begin to flood into the chamber. Primus lifts her sword up again, ignoring Superman's warnings as she turns on the villains. Butchers! Butchers and cowards! She bellows as she swings the blade, cutting through them. She raises a weapon and takes aim at the nearest peacemaker. Superman, do something! Jimmy shouts as Primus squeezes the trigger. Later, the Omega Men return to the base with a boom. Kal pauses quietly for a moment and looks down at his hand. He caught the bullet. Sol, I hesitated. I almost didn't. Sol, he says quietly, to no response. Primus stands before him. Now do you see the truth? She asks, explaining that Lazarus will exterminate anyone who gets in their way, that they will destroy this planet, that Superman has the power to stop them, to fight alongside the Omega Men and wipe Lazarus out. You were sent here for a reason, Superman. I see the anger inside you, begging to come out. Stop holding back the volcano, she begs him. But Kal clutches at his head and shakes it slowly. No, stop talking, please, he whispers, feeling the rage building up within him. Primus wants Superman to help her wipe out Lazarus and kill Ra's al Ghul. One death to save billions, she tells him. But the conversation is interrupted by another Omega Man, telling them that in all the chaos they didn't realize that they left a man behind. What are you talking about? Primus asks angrily. Agent Alpha, the Omega Man tells her. We forgot about Olsen. Meanwhile, Jimmy is sitting at a table, a black bag pulled down over his head. Excuse me. I have rights, you know, 'cause of that convention in Geneva. I'd like, one lawyer, please. Preferably one with good reviews. Jimmy calls to whoever is there. Suddenly, the bag is pulled away to reveal Lois Lane. You don't have any rights here, Omega Man. Accept the right to tell me everything you know about Superman, while you still can. Lois snaps at him as she leans over the table. And that was the complete story for Absolute Superman Issue 9 by Jason Aaron. If you enjoyed this story, you can support the industry and go add it to your collection. But what did you think of today's video? Let me know in the comments below, and like and subscribe if you want to get more videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.